Hi, my name's Paul Ray and I'm Subject Coordinator for Sport here at Suffolk One. Thank you for taking the time to access our presentation on the sport courses that we have on offer here at One as part of your process of considering what courses you might be interested in studying next year. Over the coming slides, what I'll attempt to do is to outline the fundamental principles of each of the courses that we offer, give you some kind of insight into who they're suitable for and what kind of aspirations they align with in terms of what you might want to go on to do with your career or further study. On the next slide, there is a video that you can access. That video has been kindly produced by our sport curriculum delivery team here at One, and the video will feature each member of the sport curriculum team, and you'll be able to kind of put a name to a face when you have any further interactions with us. So if you decide to apply for one of the courses and you're scheduled for an interview, it will be one of us from the sport curriculum team who gives you a call and talks you through your application and make sure we get the right information about you. So hopefully you'll find that beneficial. Okay, I'll stop talking now and let you progress through to the next slide and to watch the video. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Mandy. I'm one of the sport curriculum team. I'd like to introduce you to the rest of our amazing team who will now show you around our facilities.
Hello, I'm Tom, one of the sports teachers here at One. We're going to give you a quick tour of what a typical sports classroom looks like.
Welcome to our Astro pitch, sometimes known as a mugger, a multi-use games area. It's used at lunchtimes by most students, perhaps to kick a ball around, as well as for the practical content of our course. Some clubs will use it during the evenings as well, with a nice floodlit area, helps the community.
Okay, this is our sports hall facility. We're very lucky that we've got a very large sports hall, 6 badminton courts, 2 basketball courts. This is used for curriculum use in some of your units, depending on which course you choose to do, and also used for lunchtime clubs and activities.
This is the fitness suite. It hosts a number of different machines. So we've got resistance machines, we have free weights, we've also got cardiovascular resistance machines too. We use this room predominantly really for if we need to for fitness modules, for lessons, or for any fitness testing. This room also hosts as well our YMCA fitness instructors course, which is an additional course that you can come on to, and that's relevant whether you study sport or not. To be able to access this, you have to complete an induction and then you can use it at lunchtime.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our tour of the facilities in sport here at One. A couple of members of our team will be on hand to answer any questions you might have. We look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, as Tom just pointed out at the end of that video, on the scheduled open events, there will be members of the team who are available for you to contact should you have any questions, which undoubtedly you will have some questions at the end of this presentation. So please don't worry if you still have some things left in your mind that go unanswered once I've been through the slides. That's absolutely normal, and we will be on hand to answer any questions you've got if you're able to schedule an appointment with us during one of the open events. Okay, so moving on, we've got 2 level 3 courses. So a level 3 course is equivalent to A-level study, and we offer one of the level 3 courses as an extended diploma, which is the equivalent of 3 A-levels, and that means that you will spend all of your timetable, all of your formal lessons will be in sport, but you will study a really broad range of units within that qualification. So as you can see from the bottom bullet point, there's 14 units we cover in total across 2 years. Both of these courses are full-time and 2-year courses. 4 of those units out of the 14 are externally assessed via a range of assessments. One traditional exam that you'll be very familiar with based on your study at high school, and then some other units that are assessed in exam conditions, and they are extended written assessments that we will help you to get prepared for. There's 2 of each of those in each year, so you'll do 2 of the external assessments at the start of year 12 and then the remaining 2 at the start of year 13. In addition to that, there are a whole host of more practical related courses, so you will cover units such as fitness training and programming, practical sport, and coaching for performance, as well as sports leadership. The bulk of the lessons are not going to be like what you experience in your current PE lessons. They might be more like your theory lessons in PE, and where we can, we will obviously reinforce the learning with practical aspects, but you should be expecting that the bulk of your time is spent inside a classroom learning about the actual academic side of sport and the various aspects to it. If the level 3 extended diploma won't allow you to keep the breadth of study that you would like, then you do have the alternative, which is the extended certificate in sport and exercise science. So this is a much smaller, more discrete qualification. There's 4 units in total, and 2 of those are externally assessed. There is a slightly heavier weighting on those external assessments, making up your final grades in the extended certificate. So around about 60% of your final grade will be based on your 2 externally assessed units, whereas in the extended diploma, around about 40% of your final grade is made up of those 4 externally assessed units. As I mentioned, with regards to breadth of study, if there are more than one subject that you want to continue to learn about, that you're still enthusiastic about and passionate about learning more about from your previous study, then the benefit of the extended certificate means that you can combine it with 2 other subject areas. Not exclusively, but commonly sports students study other subjects like biology, psychology, but like I said, there's a really diverse range. I think there's around 40 different A levels that can be chosen from and combined. Okay, I've been through the broad outline of each course. This slide just gives you a little bit more detail about what the components of the extended diploma specifically involve. So on the left-hand side, you've got the titles of the 4 externally assessed units that I mentioned on the previous slide, and then on the right-hand side, in rather small font, so I hope you can see it okay, those are the optional units that we tend to combine with those externally assessed mandatory units. Those on the right can change depending on what the demands from students are and student interests. So please use that as a guideline. Importantly, it's important to just emphasise that it is a 2-year course, and the course, although you will not be in formal lessons for the whole week, you'll have 6 lessons out of 10, each lesson being 2.5 hours long. The rest of the time, the other 4 lessons where you are not in a formal lesson, that is study time, so you will have lots and lots of independent work to get on with, and the expectation is you'll complete that in your study time where you are in college but you are not in a formal lesson. Linking onto that, this gives a little bit of a more detailed outline of the extended certificate in sport and exercise science, so the 1A level equivalent. Again, it's over 2 years, and again, it is full-time combined with 2 other level 3 courses that are single A level or equivalent. So you've got your year 12 units and what you cover in that. One of them is an externally assessed unit, that's functional anatomy, and then that's combined with a coursework internally assessed unit, specialised fitness training. And then similar structure in year 13, you have your externally assessed applied sport and exercise psychology, and then your final unit that you will learn about is coaching for performance and fitness. As you can see, there's the breakdown of how much of the qualification is assessed via those external units and how much of it is assessed internally via coursework. So it gives a really nice combination of skills and attributes for students to develop over the course of that 2 years. The final option in sport is the Level 2 Extended Certificate in Fitness Training and Exercise. Now, this is a very different course. This is suitable for those that may have got some 4s in their GCSE, but also got some 3s, and they may not quite have got the qualification levels that we need to access the Level 3 courses straight away. This allows you a year of consolidation. You can combine this qualification, which is equivalent of 3 GCSEs at grades 4 to 9, with any additional GCSEs that you need to resit. So maths and English are vital. You can't progress to level 3 if you haven't resat and got your minimum of a grade 4 in both of those subjects. So if you need to resit maths or English when you get your results in August, then you can do that whilst also combining it with this course that's in front of you. Again, there's a breakdown of what's involved in the course. You've got some mandatory units, a couple that are externally assessed, and many which are internally assessed via coursework. It's really good preparation for the level 3 course. Many students we've had who have started on the level 2 course have made excellent progress, progressing on to level 3 and then beyond onto some really prestigious options, both into employment and at university. So this isn't a barrier to what you can achieve if you do enrol on the level 2 course and you don't quite get what you hoped you would get in your GCSEs first time round. There is an emphasis on fitness training and exercise. We hope that that really appeals to a broad range of students. Successful completion of this course, plus conducting yourself in a really positive, proactive way throughout this course, is like a year-long interview. You'll get to know us, we'll get to know you. If you're enthusiastic, if you work hard, and if you're dedicated to improving, then there is absolutely no reason why you won't be penciled in on the level 3 course after completing this year and spend 3 years here with us at one. So that's the opportunity from enrolling on a level 2 course. This slide includes a visual representation of how different things are combined and what they lead on to. So at the top, you've got the extended certificate level 2 qualification and a broad outline of what it involves and the size of that qualification being 3 GCSEs, as I mentioned, and the fact that you can combine it with GCSE maths reset and depending on what the need is, GCSE English reset. One thing I haven't mentioned, although Emily did mention it in the video that you watched a few slides ago, is the YMCA Fitness Instructors qualification. So that is an optional extra for all students who attend one to enrol upon. It is quite limited in numbers, so we tend to have around a dozen on that to make sure that the experience is really worthwhile and valid. It's 1 lesson a week. There is a small cost to it, but that can be outlined to you nearer to the time. It won't be advertised until you've actually enrolled and started your courses in September. But that, unlike your BTEC qualifications or your other qualifications that you do at one, that is an industry standard qualification that allows you to actually gain employment in the fitness industry as a gym instructor. So it's slightly different in that it's very, very vocational. We recommend that really highly to combine with your studies, whether you're a level 3 or a level 2 student. If you are successful, as I mentioned before, you can progress on to the BTEC Extended National Diploma in Sport, which is equivalent to 3 A levels. And then following that, you've got 2 main routes. Around 60% of our students who complete the Extended National Diploma go on to study at university, and around 40% enter into further training, apprenticeships or employment. So again, quite a diverse range and a really diverse range of progression routes to university and into employment, from things like paramedics. We've had a number of students who have gone on to become paramedics following study at university, through to apprenticeships with BT, onto universities that are quite prestigious. We've had a student progress onto osteopathy, as well as the perhaps more traditional routes of things like physiotherapy, sports science, sports rehabilitation, PE teaching, etc. Whilst there's no need to take any action yet, we want to make you aware of some of the course requirements. So as a sport course, there are practical aspects, particularly on the level 2 extended certificate in fitness training and also the level 3 national extended diploma in sport. Much less so for the sport and exercise science course, so hence why that's not mentioned here. There is no requirement for, if you enrol on that course, to buy or purchase any kit. But if you do enrol on the level 3 course, you'll be expected to purchase a branded one polo shirt that you will use throughout your 2 years here for practical activities and for when we might go out and visit or we have visitors into the centre. And that's an approximate cost of around £26. You don't need to order that until you have enrolled on the course, so please don't take any action until you have enrolled on the course in August or early September next year in 2021. The fitness extended certificate, the level 2 qualification, has a slightly higher cost because of the more practical nature of that. You will be expected to wear a tracksuit and a polo shirt to all of your lessons because you are essentially training to be a fitness instructor, and your course will involve far more practical work as a result of that. Hopefully that gives you plenty of time to put that money aside and be aware of it before you need to take any action. So please be aware, and if you're absolutely certain that you're going to enrol, then you might just want to put some of that money aside, but please don't buy anything or try to buy anything until you've enrolled. Okay, so the really difficult part is to try to figure out what course you think is right for you, and there's a range of factors that you probably need to reflect upon in that consideration. So an important aspect is what you hope to go on to do after your time at one. I know that might seem counterintuitive before you have even applied or started at Suffolk One to be thinking what after, but those 1, 2, 3 years, depending on how long you're here with us, will go very, very quickly. And of course, if you have a clear idea of what you'd like to progress onto, it's vital that you choose the right combination of courses that will allow you access to that aspiration. We do understand, however, that lots of people are not that certain about what they'd like to do. So in that situation, I think the best thing to do is to think about what you enjoy and what you like doing and what you want to learn more about, because if you're enthusiastic and keen, then you'll tend to do very well. And if you do well, then there'll be lots of opportunities open for you to progress. As I mentioned before, it depends whether you want to put all your eggs in one basket to an extent and think, right, sport is what I really, really am passionate about and I want to learn as much as I can about the different areas within sport. And if that's what you're thinking, then the extended diploma probably is the right course for you, especially if you think that combining internally assessed coursework with some externally assessed assessment, but not as much as the extended certificate, is the right thing for you in terms of your learning style and what you are successful at. On the other hand, you might want to keep your options open and keep a broader range of subjects moving forward, in which case the extended certificate is probably the better option for you. But you will need to carefully consider this, and I think on the back of that careful consideration, that's where you might want to contact us during an open event, which are advertised, the dates are advertised for this year on the website, to discuss any questions you've got about that progression and what is best for you. There are some other aspects to it as well. Do you need to retake any GCSEs? Have you got at least a 4 in all of the core subjects? And that will influence what course you might want to do. Plus, you might want to carefully consider the fact that we teach courses that look at the academic study of sport, not just developing practical skills in sport, which is what your core PE might have focused on up to this point. So it will be very different. The lessons will be hopefully enjoyable, but they won't be as frequently practical. You won't just be playing sport in them. So if that's not something that you are expecting, then you need to think carefully and speak to us about that. I think that covers everything. As I've said before, and as Tom mentioned on the video, please do take the time to meet with us and book an appointment at an open event so that we can discuss this further and answer any of your questions before you apply. Okay, the final couple of slides that I would like to share with you relate to the extracurricular opportunities. So we have a range of extracurricular opportunities in any normal year. This year's been anything but that, as I'm sure you're aware. But we hope that we can, in the not too distant future, resume our competitive sport. We've had very successful teams in cross country. We've entered golf competitions in the past. We've also entered rugby tens, and we have had a football team in the past as well. There are a limited number of teams that we can offer because of the curriculum and how busy that is, but we will do our best to try to make sure that there are some opportunities for you to compete. For those of you that would prefer just to play sport in a more recreational manner, there are a number of options again in a normal year. At the moment that's been put on hold, but we hope that that will return not in the too distant future. So we have a fitness suite where if you do an induction at the start of the year, then you can use that fitness suite free of charge at lunchtimes, and it's our fitness instructors who qualify at the end of year 12 who actually supervise and run that facility, which is great experience for them too. And you'll have the opportunity to do that if you complete the YMCA Fitness Instructors course in year 12 yourself. There's also a range of extracurricular sports that are hosted at lunchtime. We have 1 hour 15 minutes for lunch, so we have futsal and volleyball and table tennis and badminton and basketball clubs, which is open to any level of ability, and can be quite performance related if you want to receive some coaching, but also quite recreational if you want to let off some steam with friends and you're not overly focused on performance. Okay, just very quickly to mention, we try to inform, again, this has been somewhat limited and we've had to move some of these opportunities online more this year, but we try to incorporate as many trips, visits, guest speakers from different parts of the sport industry as we can into the course. So there will be a range of opportunities, whether that be online or live events, to kind of broaden your horizons and hopefully get you thinking about what you might want to do in the long term within sport and active leisure. Okay, final slide. So you've made it through the whole presentation and stuck with it. So thank you. There's just some frequently asked questions, just a snapshot of some questions that we tend to answer most years at open events. So feel free to have a browse of those. But as I've mentioned a number of times, and please do take the opportunity to contact us should you still have questions about what is the right course for you, and what might align with your progression aspirations best of all in terms of what we can offer in sport. So I'll give you, and I'll look forward to speaking to you and meeting you at some point in the future. Thanks again.